All right, let's dive right into this explainer. When real danger hits, your brain's amygdala hijacks your logic in mere milliseconds. Most people like to think they'd make the exact right choice under pressure, but the reality is very, very different. So ask yourself a serious question. What would you actually do if you had just 10 seconds to survive?
Just think about it for a second. You have exactly 10 seconds on the clock. That's it. There's no time to whip out your phone and Google a quick solution. There's absolutely no help coming to rescue you, and you have zero time to second-guess yourself. It all comes down to your raw instincts and one critical decision that you have to make right in that exact moment.
So, as we go through these scenarios together today, I want you to actively lock in your move. Let's see if your gut instincts can actually save you. Because as we're about to discover, your brain's natural response isn't always the right one when the panic sets in.
Okay, Scenario 1. Surviving urban nightmares. The Night Stalker. Picture this. You're walking home alone at night. The street is completely empty and it's just a little too quiet. Suddenly, you hear footsteps right behind you. You speed up your pace, hoping it's just a coincidence, but then you realize the footsteps are matching your speed perfectly. Now your heart is absolutely pounding. You don't want to look terrified, but you absolutely are, and you've only got 10 seconds to figure out your exact next move before they catch up. The person is getting closer. What do you do?
Okay, here are your options. Do you take off running as fast as humanly possible? Do you look for a dark alley to duck into? Or do you suddenly turn around to face them? Think fast and make your choice before that invisible 10-second clock runs out.
All right, so what's really fascinating here is the stark contrast between human instinct and actual survival. Running feels so right, doesn't it? It's that classic flight response. But running literally turns you into prey that they will instinctively chase. And hiding? Well, now you've just trapped yourself in a dark corner. This brilliantly illustrates our main takeaway here. Attackers depend entirely on fear and surprise. The right move is actually turning around suddenly. Standing your ground and making direct eye contact instantly breaks their control. It shows a level of confidence that can honestly scare them right off.
Moving on to Scenario 2, Facing Nature, the Sudden Snake. Imagine you're just enjoying a peaceful, beautiful hike through some tall grass. Out of nowhere, a snake appears right in front of you on the path. It slightly lifts its head, acknowledging you, but it isn't striking just yet.
Your entire body just freezes. Your brain is absolutely screaming at you to move, to get as far away from those fangs as possible. But here's the crazy fact. Snakes have terrible eyesight for stationary objects. Remember, you only have 10 seconds to act before this whole situation escalates. What is your play here?
So what's the call? Do you sprint away in the opposite direction, freeze and stay totally still, or try to kick it or hit it with a stick? Panic is completely taking over now. What's your choice?
Well, if you chose to run, you probably just triggered a strike. To a snake, fast movement equals an incoming threat. And trying to hit it, yeah, that triggers an instant defensive strike too, because now you're actively attacking it. The right move is to do the exact opposite of what your panic is screaming at you to do. Stay completely still. In most cases, the snake doesn't actually want to fight a giant human, it just wants you to go away. By staying calm, you show you aren't a threat, reducing the risk drastically.
Okay, Scenario 3, The Midnight Hazard, House Fire. Imagine waking up deep in the middle of the night. Something feels terribly, terribly wrong. Your throat is burning, you cough, and you quickly realize your room is entirely filled with thick, dark smoke.
Instant panic hits you. Because modern homes are absolutely packed with synthetic materials, you only have about 2 to 3 minutes to escape before it's game over. You can barely breathe, and you can hardly even see your own hand in front of your face. The 10-second countdown to make your first move begins right now. How do you navigate out of this room alive?
Your options for escape. Do you stand straight up and sprint for the door, get on the floor and crawl, or try to smash the windows to let all that toxic smoke out? Don't just guess here, really think about the physics of your environment in this incredibly dangerous scenario.
This situation is incredibly deadly because your very first instinct is to stand straight up on 2 feet and run for safety. But here is exactly why that fails. Smoke rises. The higher up you stand, the more of that toxic smoke you inhale, which is actually what usually causes people to pass out and not make it. The right move is to crawl low. The cleanest, most breathable air is always going to be right down near the floor. Remember, it's not about how fast you can sprint out of the room. It is entirely about making sure you can keep breathing while you escape.
Scenario 4, The Panic Threat, Deep Water.
Imagine unexpectedly plunging into a deep body of water, and well, you don't really know how to swim properly. You instantly feel that terrifying, heavy sensation that you're sinking straight to the bottom.
Your body reacts automatically by fighting the water. You start kicking, splashing, and doing literally everything you can to muscle your way above the surface. But doing that drains you incredibly fast, and you only have 10 seconds to save yourself before total exhaustion takes over.
So, are you going to flap your arms wildly to tread water? Hold your breath and hope you pop up, or try to lay back and float? Make your choice right now. And as you do, keep in mind this crazy fact. The water isn't actually what kills most people in this exact situation.
What's really fascinating here is that panic is the real enemy. When you freak out and fight the water, you waste all of your precious energy and lose total control. Your right move is to lean back. Spreading your arms and leaning back into the water feels completely wrong when your brain is telling you to climb out, but your body can naturally float if you just let it. Your lungs act like two giant balloons. Staying calm and trusting the float is what actually saves your life, even if you're a non-swimmer.
And finally, Scenario 5, facing wild animals, the forest encounter. You're walking through a dense forest when you hear a snap. A massive wild animal suddenly steps out from behind the trees. It locks eyes with you, and it slowly starts moving closer.
The animal's attention is focused entirely on you. You know for a fact you can't outrun it in a long sprint, and you have exactly 10 seconds to make the right move before it closes the distance. What's your play?
Do you turn and sprint away, drop to the ground and play dead, or stand your ground and make yourself look massive? Choose very carefully here, because one of these options is without a doubt the absolute worst mistake you can possibly make.
All right, if you chose to run, you've made a fatal error. Running automatically triggers the animal's natural instinct to chase, instantly turning you into prey. Playing dead? Actually, scratch that. That only works in very rare, specific situations with certain animals. The right move, in the vast majority of cases, is to make yourself look much bigger. Raise your arms, make a ton of noise, and show sheer confidence. Predators generally don't want a difficult fight. They want an easy target. By looking big and loud, you prove that you are absolutely not going down easily.
This brings us to a quote that brilliantly summarizes everything we've looked at in this explainer today. Survival isn't about speed, it's about control. In every single one of these scenarios, from the stalker to the deep water, your natural instinct tries to trick you. It tells you to run, to panic, to react as fast as humanly possible without thinking. But the reality is, the people who actually survive these high-stress situations are the ones who are able to pause, even just for a fraction of a second, take control of their fear, and actually think logically.
So, looking back at all 5 of these life-or-death scenarios, how many did you honestly survive? Did you get all of them right, or did your instincts lead you straight into a trap? Tally up your score. And remember the core lesson here. Whenever disaster strikes, your panic is your deadliest enemy, and your logic is your greatest tool. Because the hard truth is, next time you might not even get 10 seconds.